Hi and welcome to Creative AI and Voicecraft. I am Pixel Pia. Last time I gave the same writing assignment to two of my crafted voices that are so similar that they could almost be twins. Hannah Wright and Freya Lilletwig. Today we are flipping that concept upside down. What happens when we give the same assignment to two crafted voices that are the opposite of each other? The two voices I chose today is Max Sparks and Echo. Max is loud, fast and restless. His writing is charged with urgency, metaphors that flare and sparks, and the rhythm that rarely sits still. He doesn't want you to just read the words. He wants you to feel jolted by them. Echo, on the other hand, is quiet, spare, and deliberate. Her words arrive like they have been passed through still waters, pared down to the essential. She doesn't explain. She lets silence carry part of the meaning. So while Max is a burst of energy, Echo is the pause that follows. They are opposites not only in tone, but in rhythm, in structure, and in intent. So now let's move over to my computer and see what they will do. So here we are in ChatGPT and I have already written the prompt for today. Today I want to test two very opposite voices from my gallery responding to the same assignment. The two voices I want to use today are Max Sparks and Echo. The assignment I want them to write is the same as we used for Hannah and Freya. Write a short reflection on why we keep unfinished projects. Can we start with Max? And I'm gonna send this. And here is Max Sparks taking the assignment. Max Sparks, reflection on unfinished projects. Unfinished projects are proof of ignition. They're the sparks that caught but didn't blaze into bonfires. Some people call them failures. I call them evidence of voltage. We start things because an idea jolts us away. We stop because the current shifts. Maybe the timing is wrong. Maybe another project pulls more watts. Maybe the world just drains the battery. That doesn't make the old project worthless. Every half-built thing on my desk is a live wire. I can pick it up, reconnect, and maybe it arcs into something bigger. Or maybe it just reminds me that I'm capable of catching lightning in the first place. Unfinished isn't broken. It's potential, raw, humming, and waiting for the next search. Here is Echo's take on the same assignment. Echo, reflection on unfinished projects. Unfinished projects are echoes of where we once stood. They linger like outlines, reminding us of the moment a thought felt alive enough to begin. We rarely leave them behind out of failure. More often they fade because the shape of our attention shifts. What felt urgent softens. What felt luminous dims. But the traces remain. Quiet companions, unfinished, not because they are broken, but because they still breathe possibility. Sometimes I return to them and hear the original pulse again. Other times I let them rest, content to know they hold a piece of me as I was. To keep something unfinished is to admit that not every path needs to be walked to its end. Some are simply places where we paused. And that pause is its own kind of completion. And then ChatGPT asked me, do you want me to draft a comparison section between Max and Echo like we did with Hannah and Freya? And let's take a look at that comparison. Max and Echo could not be further apart in how they treat the same idea. Max charges straight in with voltage and energy. For him, unfinished projects are not quiet regrets, but live wires, sparks that might flare again, proof that creation happened in the first place. His style is punchy, declarative, and restless, full of imagery drawn from electricity and fire. Echo, by contrast, drifts into stillness. Unfinished projects are not failures, but lingering presences, soft outlines of who we once were. The voice is contemplative, rhythmic, and slow, treating pauses as meaning in themselves. Where Max insists on ignition, Echo embraces silence. One celebrates momentum, the other honors memory. Together they reveal that what's unfinished can be seen either as a promise of what could be or as a reminder of what already mattered. And then ChatGPT asked me, would you like me to also add some stylistic observations, sentence rhythm, imagery, vocabulary like we did last time? And let's take a look at that. Stylistic observations. Sentence rhythm. Max leans on short clipped bursts. Echo flows in longer measured lines. Imagery. Max draws on kinetic metaphors, voltage, sparks, fire, live wires. Echo leans toward atmospheric imagery. Echoes, outlines, fading light, breathing possibilities. And when it comes to vocabulary, Max uses charged active words, proof, search, ignition. Echo prefers softer, reflective words like linger, fade, pulse, pause. Tone. Max is urgent and motivational. Echo's is elegiac and contemplative. Where Max insists on ignition, Echo embraces silence. One celebrates momentum, the other honors memory. Together they reveal what's unfinished can be seen as either a promise of what could be or as a reminder of what already matters. So there you have it. Voice and crafted voices isn't just about what is being said. It's about how it's carried. Two similar voices can give you variation on a theme. Two opposite voices can show you how wide the range really is. And speaking of range, we're about to try something new here on the channel. Starting in September, crafted voices won't just be writing. They will be sending challenges to Midjourney. Each Tuesday, one voice will set 3 prompts around a central image. On Thursdays, we will see what Midjourney makes out of these prompts. And the following Tuesday, we will present these images to the voice that wrote the prompts and have that voice write a story from the images. And then a new voice will again create prompts and challenges Midjourney. And if you don't want to miss the very first round of this, I suggest that you hit the subscribe button and maybe even turn on notification. And if you want to start shaping voices of your own using my method VoiceCraft, you can find my ebook and workbook at pixelpia.gumroad.com. And if you are just curious and not ready to buy anything yet, you can go to my website voicecraft.pixelpia.com. Thank you for watching today, and I hope to see you here in my next video. And as always, stay curious. Bye.